And people are literally saying I'm crashing out. No, I'm mad because this CEO of TikTok was making us believe we needed to fight for TikTok only for him to still ban it anyways.
How's it going, everybody? TikTok was finally banned for a few hours, but in those few hours there was absolutely nothing lost. Except for Tophiachu's $180, the only money she'd have to her name, because she decided with TikTok's looming ban she should spend her last dimes on scaring celebrities and fans of fiction alike at Comic-Con, where she no doubt had a circle around her, not the trolls taking snapshots of her, which there are plenty of those, but like that SpongeBob episode where he ate the bad sundae. I could see the scene playing out right now where Tophiachu is trying to explain to some celebrity who's using all of their patience not to demand her to leave as she rambles on about being homeless, living in a car, maybe begging for some money here and there, telling them about Squid catching Mamachu in the bushes, then she'll probably drag Mamachu over there for some sympathy to beg again, until her time's up and it's time to give Brother Chu another Dora the Explorer autograph. And with his recent allegations, that's even creepier than it already was. And you guys know Tophiachu and Mamachu, with their spending addiction, they spent almost everything they had, leading to the meltdown we all knew would happen, following TikTok getting banned, which surprisingly took her all the way up until the moment it was almost banned for her to realize this was a dramatic, life-changing event for her. But before that, it was all roses. She was happy she went to Comic-Con, and she thought everything would be just fine. So I think we need to check out when Tophiachu is just getting back from there to get some context on the freak out that's about to occur.
Here we go with the Comic-Con stuff. I said I had enough to go to Comic-Con and also do what I needed to do, and I still have money. Not only that, I need to make a video for content creators. If you guys have any money that is still in TikTok, you need to take screenshots and document how much money TikTok has not paid you yet. You need to take a screenshot, you need to document it, because if TikTok does not pay you, they have to pay you. The lady that does the TikTok shop, Amy Jackson, says she's about to lose out on $30,000. No, because TikTok has to pay you. If not, you have to sue them, because TikTok is supposed to pay you whatever money is left. I still have $180. Wednesday it didn't cash out because it wasn't enough. I don't know, my page is broken. So tomorrow I'm gonna get autographs. There was a reason why I didn't get autographs today. We just walked around because, yeah, there was a reason. Do need a place to start filming YouTube videos because I'm gonna do Reddit stories. I just need some financial freedom. What I need is like security, and not a 9-to-5 job security. In New Mexico, like the minimum wage, I would be making like $600 a month. That is not enough to live in an apartment, especially if my brother's also making that money, because he has to put gas in his car. There's a lot of expenses. It's not a living wage. TikTok is where everybody was making money. I was making a living. Mind you, if I wasn't in this situation, I could have already kept doing social media and paid for my own apartment. But I can't get a 1-bedroom because I have my family to take care of. People fail to forget that I can't leave my family behind with nothing, because I could have just said, hey, I'll get me a place, like a 1-bedroom. It's the more bedrooms you add, the more expensive it gets. When you get to a 3-bedroom, because I want my own privacy, that's where it becomes a point. It gets to a point where it gets higher up there. And all my money didn't just go to Comic-Con. I didn't waste it away. I helped my brother get his cars up and running. Well, not cars. Well, cars, because everyone knows we have an SUV, and the other car that he uses to get to work. Oh, like, it's insane the amount that I've helped my family out. And this is another thing I want to say, and I'm not trying to be rude. You make it very freaking obvious if you're filming me. Like, this girl was following me around and filming me and making it so freaking obvious. I could see you holding the phone up. I could see, like, you can ask for photos. That's fine. That's not what I'm mad at. But to harass me and follow me around, I see when you're filming. You're making it so obvious, because she was like, right as soon as I got out of the bathroom, there with the camera, the same girl. Like, it's so obvious. Like, it's very obvious I can see you filming me. It's okay if you ask for photos. There's nothing wrong with that. But then it becomes a point where it's like, I can tell you're a reporter, basically, to tell people, oh, look, she's here at Comic-Con. Like, I don't mind taking photos with people. I'm like, man, I'm going to face backlash, because people are going to say, you didn't work on getting a place and you went to Comic-Con. Like, I could already see the hate comments.
I find it hilarious that Tophiachu spends 80% to 90% of her live streams arguing with viewers about how she lives her life. And at the end of every argument, she still thinks she's on the right path, even though we've all watched in real time as her situation gets progressively worse and worse. But Tophia just keeps moving the goalpost of what's acceptable in her life. But even she should realize how poor of a decision going to Comic-Con was. How are you homeless, struggling to bathe, or even finding a restroom most of the time, and choosing to go to Comic-Con? Everyone told her this was a bad idea, and above all else, she knew she was going to get cooked for doing this. People find her in a random library. Of course she'd be spotted in Comic-Con, especially when she's cosplaying as a failed TikToker. She made it too easy. And let's not forget, she thought TikTok was done before she did this. For all she knew, she had zero income expected for months. Partner programs take a while to get into, and you typically need an address, but that's besides the point. In Tophiachu's mind, it was okay to blow everything on Comic-Con because she had one more check coming. And how much was that check? Well, you heard, $180. Tophia thought she could live off of $180 for months, while telling everyone that $600 a month at a minimum wage job is garbage. That's more than double. And finally, guys, I went to check New Mexico's minimum wage. Google says it's $12.65, so let's just say Google is off, and it's $12. That means without tax, Tophia would earn around $600 for around 3 8-hour shifts of work a week. Why is she lowballing her imaginary work schedule? She could make way more if she worked 40 hours a week of regular work. Most people above the age of 19 do that. She could be making almost $2K a month, and she could get overtime. She has nothing to do but sit in a car all day, and she doesn't want to do overtime? Fine then, do TikTok. But she just downplays getting a job because she doesn't want to, and she's going to spell that out later in the video. I bet next week, just to make it seem even worse, she'll be claiming that the job will only earn her $400 a month. What will have to happen before she finally grows up? Oh, and don't forget this, guys. No matter how much your nasal passages are damaged, you must ask to take a photo of Tophiachu. It's gotta happen from now on. She will not accept it any other way. If only Squid knew this. She could have just taken a selfie with Mama Chu doing number 2, and all that drama would have been avoided.
If it wasn't for the money I was making on TikTok, we wouldn't have, like, I kept up storage payments. I have to keep up the phone bill. Because of me, that's the reason why my family has the things that they need. Like, if it wasn't for me, my family wouldn't have had that last place we was at, because I was keeping up the rent until my brother said, hey, I'll pay the rent, you know. $151.52. Well, $151.52, I believe. That's the exact price we paid last time, but we paid for 3 days, so it's a 3-day thing. So I paid. It would have been more, but I didn't get for my brother because I wasn't sure if you know. So I didn't get for him. Because my mom. We're getting some signatures from people from the Outsiders. Let's see. Good Burger is one of them I'm gonna get. There's another one I want to get, but it's not gonna be that much for signatures. It depends on how much they charge, and from what I've seen, there isn't anyone that I'm getting that's charging a crazy amount. So yeah, I don't know how much in signatures. But it's not really expensive unless you're like eating there, or you're buying stuff there, or you're getting a crazy expensive like Some people charge upwards of $100 for a signature or something like that. Is Comic-Con better than living in a home? Actually, yes. Yes, it is. Yes. And I'll tell you why Comic-Con is better than living in a home. Because I don't have to have in the back of my mind that I'm going to be evicted because I don't own my house. You know? Because the thought hits my head. Like, people are out here to constantly harass me. Why would I want to rent a place, to be asked to leave, to have to shove all our stuff back in storage and not be set in a place? You know what? Comic-Con is actually better because why do I have to sit in a car all day and be miserable? Basically what a lot of people said, that I'm brave to keep going the way I keep going because of all the harassment. I don't have to endure that. People think that if you have a 9-to-5 job that's secure, you don't want to go to a 9-to-5 job, so why would you tell anybody else to? You have to psych yourselves up just to get up and get ready to go to a job you don't even want to go to. Why do you want people to endure that? I'm not going to work for somebody to get a measly $600 that you say that's more than enough for a place that wants 3 times the rent, which is $3,000 we don't have, because places are $1,000. And what? I'm gonna get a 1-bedroom and then we're all not gonna have a room? One of us is gonna get a room? Like, that is so crazy.
Tophiachu is trying to ignore the real reason she didn't take Brother Chu. She didn't want her only ride getting arrested. Her luck, Brother Chu would try and get away in the Chu Cruiser and it ended up getting impounded, and then she loses a house and her groceries. That's not a risk she's willing to take. Every other risk, sure, but not that one. You heard her. Comic-Con is far more important to her than a house. To her, this is everything, and Brother Chu isn't going to ruin it for her. And I also don't know if Tophiachu knows this, but you can do both. You can have a house and visit Comic-Con. In fact, I would say a majority of the other visitors, they have a house. You spent $400 that week, and we know she's buying tons of autographs and other knickknacks to take back to her car, so it can get stolen all over again. I bet she didn't even think about that. She basically told on herself that she has some valuables, and I bet they still leave that car unlocked when the Chu crew ventures off together. This family has a track record of not learning their lessons. And I don't know about you guys, but if I went out and had a blast for one night, but ended up financially ruining myself for months to come, I wouldn't look back at that as a happy memory. I try to take it as a life lesson to not ruin my life like that again, but I don't think Tophiachu learns life lessons. She's about to bring up Mama Chu's Comic-Con bathroom problems, and we all know how well that went last time. And after that, we'll move on to Tophiachu freaking out over the TikTok ban.
You ain't never gonna see me at a job anywhere. I make too much money online. I made $200 and I made like triple that, and I was only making $200 at Dunkin' to get $100. I don't have, like, I hate it. My mom can't hold her bladder, huh, Mom?
Nope.
She almost peed herself a lot at Comic-Con because she couldn't make it to the bathroom. I buy pads when it's closer to the time to buy pads. Mind you, my mom couldn't hold her bladder because she almost peed a lot. We were literally running around finding the bathroom a lot. Like, even before Comic-Con started, because...
Tell them are you doing someone out there?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. We go to the bathroom a lot throughout the day because she's always needing the restroom. And because she had a pad, you know, that helps. Because I have extra pads now. But she does have bladder problems. And the issue being is we didn't go by bus because my brother had his car. Anyways, oh, I have anxiety. So what happened was we get into the bathroom, right? So when she first needed the bathroom, right as soon as we first get in, we have to run to the bathroom because she needs it. We get into the bathroom. This lady, so I walk out and she's like, we're locked in. I'm like, oh, we're locked in this bathroom? So I try to, click the lock. I'm like, they were like, we should be able to open it from the inside because we had the lock on the inside with us. But when we turned it, it wouldn't turn either way. So they had to use the key to turn. I was like, I hope they're able to use the key to get us out. Thankfully, they were. pay, but I was like locked in. I was locked in the door. TikTok, you better pay people the money you owe them. I am owed $180 that I can't even access because the app is down. Let me tell you something. Biden said he's not going to enforce the law on TikTok, right? They don't have to shut down their app. They're doing this mind game, right? And then to thank Donald Trump in trying to help TikTok when he's the reason why TikTok is banned. Let me tell you something. 100 and some out million people lost their jobs because Mr. Shu wants to have his head up his ass and not help the creators. He doesn't have to do that to y'all. Mr. Shu just said you and like cut your guy's job off. Now we can't even access TikTok because it says TikTok is closed. What the It's not even Sunday. It's still Saturday. This is just so frustrating. Like, I can't even access TikTok right now because I tried to go live because I was like, oh, maybe I still have time to go live. It won't let me. Mr. Shu was literally attending Trump's inauguration, donating money to him. And not only that, now it says that you can link your TikTok to Facebook. If Mark Zuckerberg buys TikTok, I'm going to lose my shit for TikTok. Like, okay, so what? We fight for TikTok only for Mr. Shu to say, you guys? Like, we're the ones who helped his app. And then he wants to make it so that no other person, right, has a job now. Even Joe Biden said he's not going to enforce the law. TikTok's the one that shut the app down, not the government. They have a choice to not shut it down, but they did. No one's forcing them to shut down their app and ban it. I am so pissed off because there are people that have $30,000 in TikTok that is no longer going to have their money cash out because I hope my money cashes out next Wednesday. I hope I get my money next Wednesday. That's all I hope. If not, TikTok's going to have a large lawsuit on their hands not paying people. You can't shut down your app without paying everybody out all the money that they're owed.
I don't even know why Tophiachu would bring up the fact Mama Chu was struggling to find a bathroom. Besides from visiting conventions and not paying rent, Mama Chu and your bathroom habits were a main factor for you guys ending up homeless in the first place. And isn't it fitting that the same thing is happening again, except the only place to go for Tophiachu and the family? It's just been more homeless. Maybe she'll get to go live the Papachu life. Maybe she'll start adorning the car windows with purple crosses and own the second most lucrative bank in all of Quickville. And who knows, that might speed up since Tophia had such a big shock when TikTok got banned for 12 hours, if that. It was so funny to hear all of these TikTokers surprised when the app was shutting down. As a person who does YouTube, that would be a terrible situation. But if that's what you're facing, you gotta be ready for that. And that normally means having money put up in case of sudden changes. The funny part about this is knowing people like Tophia and Nova Online have known about this for months, but just chose to ignore it for no reason whatsoever. But then when they see the reality of it, now it's a huge deal. Look how nonchalant Tophia was at the beginning of this video. Even though she didn't have any money and the ban was looming, look at her now. She's freaking out. It's far different when things are reality to people like Tophia and Nova for some reason. And TikTok's not even gone. Since they reactivated it, I'm pretty sure someone will buy it and or an agreement will be made to allow TikTok to stay. But now Tophia is mad that someone she doesn't agree with is going to purchase the platform, and honestly, does it even matter? Besides from a few guideline changes, nothing happens. Look at Twitter. It's still a cesspool with just different guidelines. TikTok will probably still be cringe with just different guidelines. It might even help Tophiachu out. She's getting the hammer every other week for something she said, but you know she would still complain about it. And her talking about still getting paid, Tophia, I'm not sure about TikTok's contract, but I can imagine most of these social media websites have similar ones. They lay it out pretty clear. They'll not pay you if anything happens to the website, or they just decide not to. You're probably just out of luck on getting paid. Well, since TikTok's unbanned now, you're probably okay, but if it wasn't, you were done for.
I can't depend on TikTok. I want to do YouTube videos. I want to have my own clothing line. I want to have my own business because, sorry, it's cold. Job, right? A 9-to-5 job is not secure, and I don't want to work for $600 an hour. That's just, it's not $600 an hour, but you know, the minimum wage, and then you'll be making $600 every 2 weeks. That's not enough to live off of. On top of that, right, you also have social media, which is not 100% secure. Social media isn't 100% secure when it comes to that. So I want to have a business outside of TikTok where I don't have to depend on social media. You know, I have my business. Like, the TikTok app being banned kind of it's going to put a lot of people homeless. A lot of people are going to not be able to afford rent, all that stuff. So, you laughing is not no laughing matter. There are lots of people that have lost their jobs due to TikTok, especially the ones that work for TikTok. You laughing, say like, haha, these apps got banned. It ain't gonna be so funny when there's mass homelessness. Then what? Then what's funny? You think you can laugh because I'm homeless. You know, I've been through this situation. And people are literally saying I'm crashing out. No, I'm mad because this CEO of TikTok was making us believe we needed to fight for TikTok only for him to still ban it anyways. The government had no control over that. TikTok set people up for failure. This whole time, they set people up. They could have better prepared their users. Mr. Show, however you say his name, the reason why TikTok got banned is because of him. The app didn't have to shut down. It didn't have to go away. Mr. Shoe, the CEO of TikTok, chose for it to go away. He's the one who made the decision to not allow the app to run. Nobody else. Yes, the government was trying to ban TikTok, but Joe Biden said he's not going to enforce the rules. I don't know about y'all, but did any of y'all that have subscriptions to me lose your subscriptions also? That's what I wanted to ask, because a lot of people's subscriptions were canceled. What the TikTok? There's going to be like new payment, I'm pretty sure. And it's going to be, if it's anything like Instagram, you ain't making shit. Like, I made $1 between 2 videos, and the one video has 400,000. Can make that make sense. Asking like, oh, can you engage and interact with this video? You know how there's always those people that are like, engage, interact with this video, help me so I can get a stable living. I literally ask people to engage, to interact, so that way the video can generate like revenue, so I can use that towards important things that I need to add with the money that I have now. What the am I gonna do with $2, Mark? $2 ain't shit. You ain't making a living on Instagram. You sure ain't gonna make a living on TikTok now that he bought TikTok. I forget the actress from Pitch Perfect. She was there. My brother got her autograph because he didn't know she was gonna be there. So he got her autograph. And I know someone saw me in line. I was not there to meet Dora, so don't. Cause someone was like, oh my God, Tophia, and I was in line for Dora. Don't come at me, it was not me. My brother's a big kid. He got Dora's autograph. I'm sorry. I didn't get Dora's autograph. He got her autograph and he asked her if she could put swiper no swiping, and she did. So, and she did the Dora voice, cause she does the voice for everyone when they buy an autograph. Oh, Marty Grabstein, Courage. So my brother, so I got my mom that Courage shirt, you know, the shirt that she wears. Everybody liked her Courage shirt, by the way. And so then I was like, my brother was like, you should get that signed. That would be cool. And I was like, okay. So he signed it while it was on her, cause he's like, I've never had like a request like this where I signed it on the person, but okay. Then he said, no, because it's gonna fade. He said, let me do this for you. And he gave us a signed print of Courage. And my mom started crying. I was like, no, don't cry. Because like, she really loves Courage.
Now she's realizing that TikTok might not be so reliable. After taking so many L's on that platform, she actually had to see it blow up in her face for her to realize that this isn't all it cracked up to be. Everything can be taken away from her in a drop of a hat. But still, yeah, it didn't kick in all the way. I mean, I guess it's the big Toph we're talking about here, because through her realizing that TikTok might not be here forever, she decides she's switching over to YouTube to do vlogs and read Reddit comments. She's going to have a rude awakening when she realizes the only way for her to make money is to go live, and it's going to be the same exact thing as TikTok. But one big problem, she doesn't have near the audience on YouTube as she does TikTok. The lives will be smaller, and that means less money and a lot more trolls in the chat, and that's only going to lead to more crash outs. Good for us, but just a horrible idea in general. But who cares about that? Tophia doesn't. Look at her, she's tough, she's homeless, she can deal with hard things. But what about all those other creators, guys, who are going to end up homeless? I love that Tophia thinks a new wave of people are becoming homeless after a TikTok ban. What does she think every other person in New Mexico is working for TikTok in some capacity? A lot of people might be upset over losing a pastime, and a very tiny portion are upset about losing a job. And like 5 people will end up homeless over this. The Chew Crew and Nova Online. Everyone else will just do something else. Find a different platform and grow from there. But I guess that's enough for me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and follow all the socials down below. And I'll catch you guys next time.